Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Viryankaravavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vakratunda Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada. Sarasvati Namastubhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam Namami Chinmayam Devam Satgurum Brahma Vidvaram Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhayate Girim Yat Kripa Tamaham Vande Paramananda Madhavam Paramananda Madhavam. Okay, let us read from verse number 28 to 31. Okay. Shubha Shubhapalairevam Mokshase Karma Bandhanaihi Sannyasa Yoga Yuktatma Vimukto Mamupaishasi Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu Na Me Dveshosti Na Priyaha Ye Bhajanti Tu Mam Bhaktya Maite Teshu Chapyaham Api Chet Suduracharaha Bhajate Mamananya Bhak Sadhureva Samantavyaha Samyak Vyavasito Hi Saha Kshipram Bhavati Dharmatma Shashvachantim Nigacchati Kaunteya Pratijanihi Name Bhaktah Pranasyati. So Bhagwan Krishna says that if we want to worship him, it's very simple. Patram pushpam phalam toyam. Just a leaf, just a flower, just a fruit, just water. If we give that with our whole heart, he will take it very happily because he's not concerned with the object, but he's concerned with the devotion, the attitude with which we worship. What if we don't have flower, fruit, water, leaf? What if we don't have anything? He says, everything you do, just make it an offering to me. So this is where we shift our attitude. We don't have to change our action, but we shift our attitude. Whatever we are doing, it can be eating, can be sitting, walking. How do I do that with a higher vision in mind? How do I do that as an offering to Bhagwan? Thinking that when I eat, let me eat so that this body is nourished, so I can serve Bhagwan and fulfill my Dharma well. When I sit, let this body sit straight so that it's fully energized, so I can take in Bhagwan's message. So every little thing can be Karma Yoga. At our own homes is the abode of Karma Yoga. And when we do this, he says, right away we become free from all of these impurities. Impurities such as selfishness and anxiety. When we act in the spirit of Karma Yoga, selfishness gets removed. And when we act with that buddhi of prasada, accepting whatever comes without insistence, then anxiety gets removed. So if we are feeling selfish, if we are feeling anxious, then what does that mean? We're not practicing karma yoga. Very simple. We are just doing karma. And there's a big difference. So that's how we will know. Just by the state of our mind, we will know this is karma and this is karma yoga. With that, a question would come that, Bhagwan, it seems that all of the times you're saying, I love my devotees are dear to me, my devotees are dear to me. Are you being partial? So in verse number 29, Bhagwan says, no, I am not partial. I am available for everybody. And anybody can come to me. It doesn't matter who it is, what background, what culture, what religion, anything. Anybody can come to me because I am the same for all. I am available for all. I'm even available for Ravana. Someone like Ravana, I'm available for him. I am available for all. It depends on you. If you walk towards me, Bhagwan says, you will feel my grace. You will feel my light. You will feel my energy. But if you walk away from me, you won't feel it. Like a fire in the middle of the room. If we walk towards it, we will feel the heat. If we walk away from it, we will not. So he says, I am available for everybody. It is up to you. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya. Those who seek me with devotion, mai te teshu cha api aham. I am in them and they are in me. Because now we become one. We become one. They walk so close to me that there's no difference. Earlier in chapter 9, it says, Matsthani sarva bhutani nachaham teshu avasthita. Right? Matsthani sarva bhutani. They are in me. Nacha aham teshu avasthitaha. But I am not in them. Meaning, all this anatma, all this thoughts, ego, words, deeds, all of this doership, that may be residing in me. I may be the substratum of it, but I am untouched by any of it. Now, when the person realizes that they are none other than Bhagwan, there's only oneness. So they are in me, I am in them, because now we are one. We are one. There's no more difference. That being has come to realize that we are one. Bhagavan, are you really the same to all? What if somebody is a duracharaha? What if somebody is so good at doing something bad? Somebody has a PhD in doing really violent criminal acts. Will you help them? And he says in verse number 30, yes, as long as bhajate mam ananya bhak, they seek me with single-pointed devotion. As long as they seek me with single-pointed devotion and samyak vyavasitaha, they make the right resolve, for me, I consider them a sadhu. So it can be somebody who committed terrible, terrible acts, like Ratnakar, really terrible acts. But as long as they make the right resolve, for me, they are a sadhu and I accept them freely. So here we talked about forgiveness, but one important thing also to make a distinction is an apology is different from a resolve. Sometimes we do something wrong and we apologize for it, but we apologize just because we have to apologize. Or we apologize because somebody makes us say you're sorry, or just to make peace, but we don't really mean it. And we don't really intend to transform. We're just trying to just say sorry to close the matter. That's not what's being talked about here. What's being talked about here is the right resolve, samyak vyavasitaha. A resolve means I realize completely that what I've done is wrong. I realize that it's wrong. And I cannot live with myself anymore like this. I say that I can't live with myself like this anymore. I have to change and I need to get on the right path. And I will make that effort from here on. I might fall, I might slip, but I will make that effort from here on and I will keep going until I transform. That is called resolve, the right resolve. So it's not just an apology, because definitely, we don't become a sadhu by saying sorry. We become a sadhu by making that resolve to change. And this is what happened with Ratnakar. Ratnakar was a highway robber. He was a highway robber. He was stealing things from people. He was threatening people. And people must have told him, what you're doing is wrong, what you're doing is wrong. But he never really listened. But when Naradaji came and said, who is sharing your sins? You're doing this for your family, but are they sharing your sins with you? And when Ratnakar went to find out that his family wasn't sharing sins with him, then he cried to Naradaji. And Naradaji said, from here on, drop this. Change, make the right resolve so that you can become better. And from that very moment, he was considered a sadhu. He was considered a sadhu. So that's what it takes. It takes such a strong resolve from our part. And what happens when we make a right resolve that's very strong? 3 things happen. Number 1 is we become free of guilt. When we make a right resolve, we become free of guilt because we feel that we are changing, we are being sincere about it, we are walking on the path. So that guilt load becomes lighter. I'm not carrying it with me anymore all the time, because we know that guilt is a very, very heavy thought. It's very heavy. It takes away so much of our energy. So 1, we become free from guilt. 2 is we become free from social stigma. See, when we commit something wrong which nobody knows, we cannot even bring ourselves to society sometimes. Sometimes we don't feel like going out. We feel like locking ourselves up in the room. We feel like just keeping away from everybody. We don't want to face anybody because we feel we've done something wrong. Sometimes when we commit something wrong and everybody knows about it, also then we don't feel like going out because we're scared how people will look at us, how people will judge us, and nobody will want to even call us to their homes. But when they see that we're starting to change, we start to become free of the social stigma also. Because they see it. They see that we're making a sincere effort. And the third one is, when we make the right resolve, we become free of the tendency to commit the same thing again. If it really hit us, something really, really hit us and it was terrible, we will come back and say, I will never do this again. That is when we are sadhu. And that is why we become sadhu, because we become free from guilt, we become free of social stigma, we become free of the tendency to commit this again, and we resolve to walk on the right path. Sadhu samantavyaha sadhu eva. Bhagavan says, sadhu eva. I consider that being a sadhu for sure. Because now they are devoted to me. We can only make such a resolve when it comes through devotion. Without devotion to Bhagwan, devotion to something higher, it is difficult to make such a change, make such a resolve. That's why in our culture, all the resolves we make are in festivals. Navaratri, fast. Shri Ram Navami, fast or don't go out. Krishna Janmashtami, stay up the whole night. We can only hold on to resolves. Why? Because it's backed up by devotion. No? Hanuman Jayanti, sit there for 108 Hanuman Chalisas. Very difficult for us to do. But when it's backed by bhakti, that resolve becomes so incredibly strong that even Bhagwan won't let you break it. Even Bhagwan won't let you break it. That's how strong it can become. The other day, I had to do puja. Then something happened that I couldn't do in that particular time. So I said, now what to do? And then I had to get on another call or another meeting. So I said, Bhagwan, now what to do? Then I got a message that meeting is delayed. I said, Bhagwan wants me to do his puja. That's what's happening. He wants me to do the puja. So I will do it lovingly. So that's how he is. That he won't even let you break your own resolve. There is a beautiful story of Puja Gurudev. When somebody surrendered to him, there was one man, and this was in Chennai. He was into illegal business, illegal liquor business. He was a womanizer. He was known all over town. He had a really bad reputation. But one good thing he did, he went to Puja Gurudev's yajna talks. That's one good thing he did. And after bhikshas, when Puja Gurudev would go to people's homes, he would show up there. And everybody would feel so uncomfortable. Like, what is this guy doing here? You know, he has such a bad reputation. They feel so awkward towards him. They don't know how to sit with him, how to talk with him. They just want him out. And they're thinking, does Gurudev know that he's even here? Or does Gurudev even know what kind of person he's like? So Gurudev was very calm, very casual, very cool with it. And he looks at everybody and he says, in 6 months, when I come back to Chennai, he will inaugurate my yajna, my jnana yajna. And everybody is looking at Gurudev. There's back talk, maybe he doesn't know what's going on. We should tell Gurudev, we should make an appeal. All this stuff is going in the back end. People thinking they know more than Gurudev. But this was decided. This is what Gurudev said. It will happen. So everybody was tensed. Because at that time, you can imagine Gurudev's Jnana Yajna was attended by thousands of people. One time, the president of the country went to inaugurate his yajna. So we can just imagine the caliber of it. So this guy comes on stage 6 months later, and he says, I'm going to read to you something that I wrote. He tells everybody, I am not a man, I am an animal. I have been involved in illegal business. I have been doing all illegal things. But I got this letter from Swami Chinmayananda. And this letter said, for 6 months, every morning, visit the temple. I have faith in you. For 6 months, leave alcohol, leave non-vegetarian food, let go of your illicit business. Stop womanizing. I have faith in you. change. You can do it. I have faith in you. So every few lines, Puja Gurudev wrote to him, I have faith in you. I have faith in you. So he read a little part of what he wrote, and then he read what Gurudev had sent to him. And he said, I would have never been able to come up on stage. But it's because Gurudev had faith in me that I am here in front of you today. This is Sadhu. And this is how much faith Bhagwan and Guru have in us. People criticized Gurudev. They mocked Gurudev. They said so many things behind his back, but he didn't care because he believes that if anybody makes the right resolve, then they should have a chance. And everybody should have a fair chance. So this person is considered Sadhu. And what to talk of our Guru who takes a chance on us when we are so asadhu, to be patient, to become Sadhu. Now, we will go to the next verse. We saw a little bit of the next verse, but we will see more today. So, we'll read this verse once again together because it is a very beautiful verse. Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanihi name Bhaktah Pranasyati. Now I told you verse 9.22 is the heart of the Bhagavad Gita. Yes? Verse 9.31 is the heartbeat of Bhagavad Gita. The heartbeat of Bhagavad Gita is Name Bhaktah Pranasyati. My devotee is never destroyed. My devotee will never perish. Question comes to us, how fast does one become a sadhu? Bhagavan says, Kshipram, very soon one becomes a sadhu and he becomes dharmatma, a righteous person. That being who is a sadhu becomes a dharmatma, a righteous person. And what happens? Shashvachantim nigacchati, attains to eternal peace, attains to such purity and peace. Kaunteya, O Arjuna, pratijanihi, you declare to the world, Name Bhaktah Pranasyati, my devotee will never ever perish. My devotee will never perish. So, what does this mean? Here, very beautifully, how commentators have written, Shri Krishna tells Arjuna, Arjuna, you declare, pratijanihi, you declare, not me. Why? Because Shri Krishna breaks his promises. He breaks his promises for the sake of his devotees. In the Mahabharata war, he promised that he would not pick up a weapon. He promised. He said, I will not pick up a weapon. Arjuna, I will come on your side. I'll be your charioteer, but I will not pick up a weapon. Arjuna said, okay. Now what happened? Bhishma was getting so incredibly strong on the battlefield. So strong, and Arjuna couldn't fight because of his love for Bhishma. And the day before, Bhishma declared that I will make that Sri Krishna pick up a weapon. This is what Bhishma declared. So Bhishma declared this. He is so strong. He is trying to fight. Arjuna is not able to keep up with Bhishma. So many people come to help Arjuna. Still, Bhishma cannot be overpowered. Then what happens? Shri Krishna takes a chakra and he charges towards Bhishma to save Arjuna. He breaks his promise to save Arjuna and to protect Bhishma's vow. And he charges up towards Bhishma. And Bhishma says, okay, stop, stop. It's okay. Don't put your weapon down. Go away. I will calm down now. And Arjuna looks at Sri Krishna. Arjuna says, no, don't do this. Drop your weapon. I will fight. And so Sri Krishna drops his weapon and Arjuna and Bhishma again continue to fight. Of course, in the end, we know what happens. Bhishma dies. Huh? But here we see that Bhagwan loves his Bhakta so much that he will break his promise for his Bhakta. Right? He will break it. So he tells Arjuna, Arjuna, you declare because you don't break your promises. When you say something, I know you do it. You declare that my devotee doesn't perish. And in the commentary, it's so beautiful. It says, if Sri Krishna says, if I was Ramachandra, then it would be different. But I am Sri Krishna. This is how I am. Now, here, this statement is a fact. It's not a story or whatever. It is a fact. And we see this fact in and through the whole Mahabharata. I'll share some instances, and then we will also see it in the lives of saints and sages, and then in our own lives. In the Mahabharata, so one instance I shared with you that when Bhishma was getting too strong, Sri Krishna actually picked up his chakra and he charged at Bhishma. When Karna was getting too strong, fighting with Arjuna, and he released this Nagastra, and he released it to the neck of Arjuna. Once you release this weapon, it's going to shoot. That's it. You can't do anything much to it. It's going to harm, and it's going to harm at that point itself. It's coming to Arjuna. It's coming to Arjuna's neck. And if it comes to Arjuna's neck, he would be destroyed. What does Sri Krishna do at that moment? At that moment, as a charioteer, he makes the horses bend down so that the chariot goes about 5 inches to the ground, and that Astra doesn't hit Arjuna's neck, it hits his crown, and the crown falls. Because he says, I am not going to let my Bhakta perish. And you know, in the end, towards the end of the Mahabharata, there's the story of how Ashwadhama, he killed all the sons of the Pandavas. He killed them. And that was a very sad event. And he wanted to kill all the Pandavas. So he let out this Brahma Shirsha Astra. He set this out, Brahma Shirsha Astra. It was so incredibly powerful. And when he let this Astra out, he said, may the world be Pandava-less. May there be no more Pandavas ever. And Sri Krishna told Arjuna, you have to let out the same Astra to combat Ashwadhama. So Arjuna did the same thing. Now that Astra, or that weapon, was so incredibly strong that the world was shaking. The world shook. And the saints and sages said, stop and recall back the Astras. It's too powerful. The world will shatter. Because of Arjuna's purity, he could recall back his Astra. And he did. But Ashwadhama could not recall back his Astra. And Sri Krishna said, Ashwadhama, you have to do something. You have to do a pure act to recall back your Astra. Take the gem off of you and give it. And Ashwadhama refused. He refused. So he did not recall back his Astra. And he said, okay, instead of the Astras defeating the Pandavas, let there be no more Pandavas after this. Let this Astra be targeted to all Pandava mothers. And this was very difficult because Arjuna's son Abhimanyu, who died, was married to Utara, and Utara was pregnant. So the Astra was to Uttara's child. And Sri Krishna said, you do what you want, but I will not let this child die. That time, Utara was pregnant. She was pregnant, and after some time, Sri Krishna got the news that she was giving birth. So Sri Krishna went to her home. And everybody was crowding around. Utara was giving birth. And when she gave birth, the baby was stillborn. The baby did not move, did not cry, was stillborn. And everybody was devastated. But Sri Krishna came, took the baby in his arms, and as if with all his entire energy, he closed his eyes and he brought the baby back to life. He said, Name Bhaktah Pranasyati. I will never ever let my devotee perish. I will never let that happen. And you see, that son is Parikshit. Now you're going to ask a question. Shri Krishna said, my devotee will never perish. But Arjuna dies in the end. Parikshit dies in the end. The name, the virtues, the story of the Bhaktas, they will never die. Till today, thousands of years later, we are still talking about Arjuna. Till today, we are studying the Bhagavad Gita. Till today, we are still talking about Parikshit. And we all know that it is through Parikshit, because he only had 7 days to live, and he requested to hear the Bhagavatam. We have Bhagavatam. So the names, the stories, the virtues of the Bhaktas, they will never die. And Bhagwan sees to it that the entire Guru Parampara, it stays alive. It stays alive. Yesterday was Sri Ram Navami. Sri Ram Navami is the day that Tulsidas ji wrote the Ramcharitamanas. And that's why we chant it on Sri Ram Navami, or the days leading up to Sri Ram Navami. Now Tulsidas ji wrote this Ramcharitamanas in Avadi, a different language, not Sanskrit, but Avadi. And he was in Kashi, Varanasi. And he wrote this as an offering to Bhagwan, and he offered it in the Kashi Vishwanath temple. Meanwhile, people around him said, what is this? Why are you offering this? This is not Sanskrit. This is not the original Ramayana. Why are you offering this? And how can you offer this to Bhagwan? So anyway, he kept his book there. And of course, they all kept his book in the bottom, Ramcharitmanas, in the bottom of all other scriptures, because they said it's in Avadi. How are you going to write a Ramayana in a different language? And they kept his book there underneath all other scriptures on top. They kept it inside the Garbha Graha, or the Sanctum Sanctorum. and they locked it, they closed it. The next day, when they visited that same temple, they opened the Garbhagriha. What was on top? Ramcharitamanas, Tulsidas ji's Ramayana. Why? Name Bhaktah Pranasyati. There's no way that his bhakta will fall, will fail. In our lives, people can fail us. People can fail us. Sometimes maybe they can't make it. They can't be there for us. Sometimes physically they're not there anymore. We might buy all the insurance in the world. That is all the insurance. Life insurance, car insurance, health insurance. Buy all the insurance we want. Then we will call them when something happens and they'll say, that's not included. That also sometimes that fails. A lot of times that fails. But there has never been a time where Bhagwan or Guru, they have failed their bhaktas. Never. There has never ever been a time. There has never been a time when they did not stand by their bhaktas. It is seen throughout all their lives. I remember in the Jyoti Yatra in 2016, we had the Chinmaya Jyoti Yatra in Bharat, and the car was going around to so many places, so many miles, so many places, and so far the car was fine. In one particular place, the car got a flat tire. Car got a flat tire, and they didn't have supplies, they didn't have help with them, so they were trying to figure out what to do. So they went outside, and somebody came to help. And Swamiji was there, Swami Mitranandaji was there. Somebody came to help, and there was a little child that was there, So Swamiji said, "What's your name?" He said, "Chinmaya." And that, when he said that, they were like, this is Name Bhaktah Pranasyati. That was too much. That was too much. They said, even here, Gurudev is here. So this is not a story, as I said. This verse is a fact that we will also feel in our moments in our life when we feel like nothing's working, we don't know if we're going to make it, we're going to fail miserably. We must remember this verse where he says, Name Bhaktah Pranasyati. I remember on Kailash Yatra, so many things happened. So much pain and so much sickness and this and that. So many things happened that even the night before, I did not know if I was going to make that yatra or not. But I woke up the next day and everything was absolutely fine. Everything was absolutely fine. It's as if Bhagwan said, now go. Name Bhaktah Pranasyati. Oh, not let us perish. This verse also tells us that the person should be Dharmatma. Sometimes we think that we can be foolish. Anyway, Bhagwan will take care of us. So stand on a road and let cars pass because Name Bhaktah Pranasyati. No, that's absolute foolishness. This verse applies to a dharmatma, the one who follows dharma. And the one who follows dharma, why do they have eternal peace? Because they will never have to worry. Everything will always be okay. What are we worried about? We saw in verse 9.22, Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham, we've always been taken care of. Always. So there is eternal peace because we never have to worry. Not even one bit. If we are on the path of Dharma, if we have a heart full of devotion, we will be 100% okay. It's a guarantee. Now, Bhagwan says, let me tell you more. Let us see verse number 32. Mam hi partha vyapashritya
Mam hi partha vyapashritya
yepi syupapayonayah
yepi syupapayonayah
striyo vaishyastatha shudraha
श्रियो वैश्यास्तदा शूद्राः
tepi yanti param gatim.
तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम्
Mam hi partha vyapashritya yepi syupapayonayah striyo vaishastatha shudraha tepi yanti param gatim. So Bhagwan says, Mam hi partha, O Partha, be vyapashritya, taking refuge in me. Mam vyapashritya, who, ye api, those who, syuhu, those who may be papayonayaha, of a sinful birth. Who? This is a controversial verse. I'll explain it. I'll read the translation, then I'll explain. Striyaha, women. Vaishyaha, vaishyas. Tatha, and Shudraha, Shudras. Te api yanti param gatim. Even they attain the supreme goal. For taking refuge in me, they also, O Partha, who may be of a sinful birth, women, Vaishyas, as well as Shudras, even they attain the supreme goal. Now, first thing to understand is the seeker is not a body. This body is not seeking the truth. This stomach cannot seek the truth. These shoulders cannot seek the truth. These lips cannot seek the truth. Who is the seeker? The seeker is called the mind. The seeker is the mind. So the seeker is not the body because the body cannot seek the truth. Point number 2, whenever they talk about the varnas, varnas we know are the qualities of the mind, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. They all are based on the quality of the mind. They are not based on somebody's birth or somebody's profession, but on the qualities of the mind. Similarly, when we say striyaha, that is also based on the quality of a mind. That is not a woman's body. That striyaha here refers to an emotional type of mind. Okay? Now first let's look at that word, striyaha. Generally, when we think of a male and a female, these weaknesses they will have. For a male, the aham vritti is very strong. For most, not all, for most, that sense of I, that sense of ego, that sense of pride, and not wanting to be wrong, not wanting to be put down, not wanting to be answered back to. That sense of I, that sense of ego can be very strong in not all men, but in a lot of men. In not all women, in a lot of women, the weakness there is emotional attachment. This is my child, this is my spouse, this is my home. That mama vritti can be very strong. Both of these are papa. Both of these are weak tendencies. When we say papa, they're weak tendencies. So what is weak? Weak is this egoistic sense of I am great, I am wonderful, nobody should talk down on me, nobody should argue with me, I am right all the time. That is weak. And the sense of I'm attached to my child, my home, my family, that is weak. If you look in the Ramayana, when Sri Rama, Lakshmanji, Sita Devi went to the forest, what was King Dashratha's response? His response was attachment. So what did he have? Stri prajna. He had that emotional attachment. That he had that weakness. He was crying, he was weeping, and he had that attachment towards Kaikai also. But when it comes to Sumitra, what did she have? She didn't have emotional weakness, she had emotional strength. She told Lakshmana, you go. You consider Sri Rama as your father, Sita Devi as your mother, and you consider Ayodhya wherever Sri Rama is. That forest is Ayodhya. So here you can see very clearly that Sumitra Devi is in a woman's body, but she has emotional strength. And you can see that King Dashratha is in a man's body, but he has emotional weakness in that moment. So Stri here means that mindset where people have emotional weakness. That is exactly what it means. When we have that mindset of emotional weakness, it makes it difficult to seek the higher. And as I explained to you, this emotional weakness can be found in a man, it can be found in a woman also. It can be found in both. And we, through the Woman Seeker book, we have also seen there are many, many, many women saints, all emotionally strong. So this is not referring to all women, all types of women. No, it is specifically referring to that personality which has emotional weakness, which can be found in anybody. Now we will come to Vaishyaha. Vaishyaha means those who are traders in commerce, merchants. This is now, traditionally that's what it means, right? But here again we're talking about the mindset. What kind of mindset are we talking about? Calculative mindset. Always thinking about profit. How much money can I make? What business deal can I strike? How can I create more wealth? Where should I invest in? This Vaishya tendency, which can again appear in a man or a woman, this tendency makes it difficult to seek the truth. It makes it difficult because it's always thinking about wealth. Now, if you're going to take this as profession, Huh? That means we are saying people like Kabir Das Ji, who is a weaver, is not enlightened. That means we are saying people like Nisarga Dutt Maharaj Ji, who is rolling tobacco, is not enlightened. And these two are clearly saints in our tradition. If we take Stri to mean Stri, if we take woman to mean woman, then that means saints like Anandamayima, saints like Sharada Devi, Muktabai, Janabai, they're not enlightened. And clearly, they are. Shudra, again, this traditionally, when we think about it, it means laborers or workers. No, it's that mindset. That mindset which does not want to do anything for themselves. They just kind of want to be in their comfortable spot. So that they don't have that self-starting mentality. They're absolutely just comfortable being where they are. Shudra. That mindset. Now that mindset makes it difficult to seek the truth, because to seek the truth we have to strive. We have to strive for the highest. And if somebody's just going to be comfortable with where they are and people telling them what to do, that's going to be difficult. If we take Shudra to mean Shudra, to mean laborer, worker, somebody who's a criminal maybe, if we take Shudra to mean Shudra, do you know what that means? That means Rishi Valmiki will not be enlightened. Because he's a robber. It means Veda Vyasji will not be enlightened. Because Veda Vyasji is who? He is the son of a fisherwoman and a rishi. So you see what this means, right? This is all mindsets. This is all mindsets. If we take Shudra to be true, that means that Shabari is not enlightened. Because Shabari in Ramayana is a sweeper. She's a sweeper of the ashram. And when she meets Sri Rama calls her Bhamini, oh intelligent one. And Sri Rama tells her, oh Bhamini. And she says, Sri Rama, I don't know how to praise you. He says, I will praise you. These are the 9 forms of bhakti and you have them all. Huh? So when we understand the context of this verse, that in these types of mentalities, which can happen in a woman's body, in a man's body, it can happen in anybody's body. These mentalities, when they are there, when one is emotionally weak, when one is too calculative, when one is totally just comfortable where they are and not wanting to be better or strive for anything better, it makes it difficult to seek the truth. And one commentator writes very beautifully, he says, this Papa Yoni, you take that separately. It is not a description for Stri or Vaishya or Shudra. It's not a description for it. Papa Yoni, you take it separately. It could be the birth of animals, because for animal birth, it is difficult for them to seek, because they don't have that developed intellect to seek. And what he says Sri Krishna is telling here is that everybody can attain me. Everybody. There is no bar. As long as we have that devotion unto his feet. And this commentator further writes that Papa Yoni, the real sinful tendency here is identifying with this body. That's the biggest sin. We are so caught up in what mindset, what varna, what ashrama. Forget the body. You are not the body. When you are in the body, identified with the body, whoever you are, there is no chance for you to seek God because we're so stuck up with ourselves. But the minute we break free from this body identification, then all we see is Bhagwan. And that's how life should be. We shouldn't see ourselves, see Bhagwan. We shouldn't like hearing about ourselves, hear Bhagwan's katha. We shouldn't like speaking about ourselves, but speak about Bhagwan. And we shouldn't like acting for ourselves, act for Bhagwan. So whoever takes themselves to be a body, that itself is Papayoni. That itself is Papayoni. So he says here, get rid of this body identification, get rid of all of these things, take refuge in me, have devotion unto me, and you will reach me. Because as he said earlier, Name Bhaktah Pranasyati. My devotee will never ever perish. And that's a guarantee. There's so many stories of that, but I thought I'll just share a few today and something that we can keep reflecting on throughout. So we'll stop here today, and next week we will see the last two verses of chapter 9, beautiful chapter 9. Om. 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 Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.